So a little while back, Softr reached out to me to ask if I would like to make a video about a new feature they have coming out. And after playing around with it a little bit, I can safely say that this is a true inflection point for Softr. And in fact, it has the potential to really shift how small business owners and entrepreneurs choose the software, or should I say, build the software that they use in their business. This is it. You're actually looking at it. It's called the AI Co-Builder. And if you've used Softr in the past, you know, typically they ask if you want to start from a template or start from scratch. Well, that's all gone. The entire look of the application has changed. And instead, we've got the Co-Builder here asking what we want to build. Now, is this just vibe coding? Did Softr just add vibe coding to the tool? Well, I mean, kind of, but not really. This is different from every vibe coding tool out there. And I'm going to show you how. Today, I'm going to build out an entire OS for my agency. Now, if you know anything about agencies, you'll know they're typically run with some duct tape and maybe an N8N instance. There are a ton of tools that get connected together, and piecing everything together in a fluent way can be very, very difficult. So let's solve that right now with a single prompt inside of Softr. But first, I'm going to switch over to Claude. One technique I've grown very fond of is using one AI tool to help me organize my thoughts to output the prompt to actually build in a different tool. So this is Claude Desktop, and what I just did over the last few minutes was I held down the function key on my keyboard and I used Mac Whisper to talk about the tool that I want to build using Softr. And now I'm just going to send this to Claude, and it's going to output a much more organized, thorough prompt that I can copy and paste into Softr. This is not an essential step. It's just one trick that I like to do. I've talked about it before here on this channel, and it makes building more complex apps a lot easier. It's similar to using plan mode if you've ever done that in something like Cursor or Claude Code. I think you'll understand what I mean when you just take a look at the prompt that Claude put together for me to feed into Softr. This thing is super organized and super detailed. So I've just pasted it into Softr. You can see the entire prompt is right here, and let's go ahead and ship this. Now, the first thing that happens with the AI Co-Builder is we get this new screen. It's like an interview screen where they're going to ask you questions about the application you're building. The first thing you want to know is how clients are going to access the client portal. Well, they're going to log in with their email address. That's generally how I like to do things. Next, the Co-Builder wants to know how team members will log their time. Well, let's do a timer and manual edits. Do you want the app to include internal-only CRM style pipeline views for onboarding in addition to the checklist/table? I think I'm going to go just with the checklist now. So it's basically like as we're onboarding a client, we're going through a checklist, making sure that we've got everything done. So we're going to stick with a checklist view. One of the biggest issues when you're vibe coding an app is, of course, authentication and permissions, role-based access, all of that. So I made sure to emphasize it in my initial prompt. So it wants to know how users will log in. So I'm going to choose email here. And can people sign up on their own? No, I'm going to invite clients, and then staff obviously will be invited as well. Next, we can choose our navigation layout. So there's options here for desktop as well as mobile. I chose both side and top. This is a big app. It's going to have a lot of options, so I think that's going to be necessary. However, for mobile, I don't like when it has both because then you have a very limited working screen. So I just chose bottom for this, and we'll proceed. Next, we'll choose our theme. You can always customize this later on, but I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. I think that looks pretty good. We do get a little preview of it, so if you want to click around and see some different ones, you can definitely do that. I mean, these are going to be really stylish. All of these themes look really good, but I'm going to go with the dark view, and the gold color kind of fits our existing brand. So let's go ahead and create the app. And now the magic happens. We can basically just sit and watch. It's going to start out by building the database, which is a whole thing in of itself. Like if you were to build out the structure of a database on your own, that could be weeks worth of work. Now, Softr is adding in some users with different permissions. So in my prompt, I specified that I want to have a difference between employees, administrators, and clients. So they're adding in users with different roles here, and they're even telling me all about it as we go. You can see all of the tables they just created for me. We've got users, clients, projects, tasks, deliverables, time entries, onboarding checklists, and invoices. And it's even going through and making the relations between the different tables. So you can see the updates here as it's working. It's linking invoices to clients. It's linking invoices to projects. And now it's adding the individual fields to the invoices table. This is so cool to watch it work in real time and actually build an application. I do a lot of vibe coding, and there are certainly times where that's going to work great, but you often have this like black box feeling where you're not quite sure what it's building when you're just in the command line. And unless you're going into the code and you're technical enough to actually look at it and understand everything that's being built, well, a lot of it's just kind of hoping that everything works out. Well, here we can see that it's actually building the application the way that I want. All right, now it's populating some placeholder information here with some different invoices and amounts so we can see how everything actually flows and functions in the real application. Now, I want to mention that Softr is actually sponsoring this video, and they reached out and gave me a special link for you. If you use the link in my description, that will give you some free AI credits, so you can just go ahead and try this out for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it, although the app looks like it's almost ready to go. You can see it's building the front end here. It's super exciting, but do this yourself. I've got the link down below. Check it out, and hopefully you can build something awesome for your business. You can see every screen being built in real time. It's so cool. Here's the projects page. It moves so quick, you just kind of get a glimpse of everything it's doing. Don't worry, in a sec, we'll be able to go into the regular Softr view, where of course we can tweak this and we can make it exactly as we want, even if the one-shot app doesn't nail it, but honestly, it's looking pretty impressive. So this is the homepage here. It's got two KPIs at the top. We've got our clients and our projects. Then you've got some tabs where you can switch between the clients and the project view. Where are we going now? Oh, the app's ready. We can try it live or just go right into the editor. Well, let's see it live, and then we'll try to tweak some things. All right, so we're in preview mode right now, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm logged in as myself. I could switch to a different role if I wanted to see what it's like for an employee, for example, or a client view. They added some clients for me as well. So here's my app. Let's dig in. I'm currently logged in as the owner, and we've got a bunch of screens we can go through. So there is the tabs at the top here to switch between the client view. I get a list of all my clients. There's some filters here so I could see which clients have churned, and then maybe as the owner, these are people I want to spend some time reaching out to. Or I could switch over to the projects view here and see what's in progress, what is maybe on hold and needs a little bit of a boost to push it over the edge to get back on track. I also have this dedicated projects view right here where I can see all of the active projects and even open them up in a little sidebar to see what work needs to get done right now. I mean, this is super cool. I can see everything about the project. If I need to edit the project, there is an edit button right here. I can scroll down and see all of the tasks that have been worked on, what deliverables we have, the time entries. So for tracking our time, we can see how that's actually been done. If I need to add some more time, I can do that right here. You can even see the connected invoices, so you know if your clients have paid or if they're past due. I mean, this is crazy. I know how much work this would take to try to set it up in a platform like Notion. And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm in Notion, I just feel like everything is very fragile. And if I click the wrong thing, I'll break my layouts entirely. Well, this is a real app. I mean, I can even see what it looks like in mobile view. Like we can open this up right here. They even give you a QR code. You can scan it and look at it on your phone to really feel what it's like, because nothing beats actually using it on your phone, but you can see it's all mobile responsive. It's easy to use on any size device. Okay, so what makes this different from just vibe coding? Well, when you vibe code something, it's generating the code from scratch. But what Softr is doing is it's assembling the production ready blocks that it already created. It's just using the AI to reach into its library of assets and then putting things together like Legos. Now, that doesn't mean things aren't flexible. It's got basically unlimited number of Legos that it can pull from, so your app can work just the way that you want. But the benefit for me as a non-technical user is I don't have a gigantic code base that I have to manage. Now I can just use a visual editor, which is probably a good time to pivot into checking out what the visual editor is like. Now, I'm not going to go too deep here because if you've seen any of my other Softr tutorials, well, that's mainly what I focus on. In Softr, we've got an interface view, a data view, a user's view, and a workflows view. So if I want to change the front end, how it actually looks, well, I can go into the interface view here. We can hide the co-builder for now, and I could just start clicking around and changing things. Like for example, if I wanted to change these filters right here, I'll click on this block I'll click on the content tab and then I'll scroll all the way down until I get to the filters. Here they are, the in-app filters. Right now we have a status filter and a service tier filter, but if I wanted to add in an additional filter, I could certainly do that. I'll just choose one of the fields from my database. Like maybe I want to focus on new clients. I could choose created date, and you can see it updates the UI right here. Now, how many times have you vibe coded an app and just had a small tweak to add like this, and you write out some big long prompt, and then it goes and makes the change, but it does something wrong. And then you've got to say, hey, no, undo that, and actually add this in. It's just a back and forth that can take a ton of time because some of these Claude code prompts take 10, 15 minutes to run a very small thing. Sometimes it's easier to just use a visual page builder. It's really the best of both worlds to vibe code the essence of it into existence and then have a visual editor to tweak things as you need. Okay, so this is the interface section where we can go through all of the different pages of the app. They're laid out over here to the left, and we can make the changes that we want. Then we can also hop over into the database and actually just tweak that as necessary as well. At any point, we can always invoke the co-builder again to make further adjustments. Like, I don't like touching databases. It gives me the willies. I could break something and that breaks the entire application. A little less likely to break the entire application here in Softr, but in general, editing a database is something you should do very cautiously. So why not have the AI do it for you? It's a lot more skilled and honestly a lot more precise about finding the correct information. It can do things more efficiently than us mortals can. The users tab over here is great because this is the real thing that I struggle with when vibe coding apps is figuring out a reliable authentication and user system that also restricts permissions. And everything is laid out here in plain English. Now, of course, I can still use the co-builder to put it together. I mean, you saw it built this, but if I want to go in and verify with my own eyes exactly how it's set up, it's super easy to do. We've got our authentication system over here. It's built, it's trusted, it's secure. Everyone knows it works. We're not vibe coding it at 2 in the morning with a single shot, hoping that everything works out the best for our users. I like to use email to log into things, so I've got that checked on. But if I also wanted to let people sign in with Google, guess what? I can set that up very easily as well. My user groups are over here. I specified inside of my prompt, I wanted an owner or admin area, as well as team members, employees, and clients. And boom, I've got all 3 user groups. Now, remember in the interview, it asked me if I wanted to allow outside users to sign up. I chose that I wanted that disabled, and you can see here, sign up is disabled. If I ever changed my mind in the future and I wanted anyone to be able to sign up, I just head over to users, authentication, and then the sign up section here and turn it on. It's probably 2, maybe 3 clicks, and I've got a user flow where people can sign up, get a username and password. It'll feel familiar. They'll get an email notification and everything will just be professional like you'd expect. And of course, to tie things together, because there's still going to be outside tools you'll need to work with, they have workflows, which will allow you to connect all of the pieces together so you don't need to rely on any outside subscriptions. So I could set a trigger inside of my database or my app, and then integrate with something like Airtable, Notion, or Calendly. It's a step-by-step builder like you've probably seen in other tools, except this one can talk directly to your Softr database. Like for example here, I have a workflow that runs every time a record is added to my database. It's gonna go to a website that's linked up to that database, scrapes the information from it, uses AI to summarize it, and then brings it back and stores it in my database so that my sales team can use it. And if for some reason you just feel limited with the Softr platform, remember I said there's virtually unlimited Legos that it can build. That's because they added in a vibe coding block. So if I'm in the editor here and I want to go ahead and add a new block in, I'll just click where I want to add it, hit here, the plus button to add a new block. Well, guess what? They've got a vibe coding block now. I can just type in vibe at the top. Here it is, a vibe coding block. I've added it in and I can just add any feature I would like to vibe code. It works just like any other vibe coding tool you've seen. Like maybe I want to add in a small Pac-Man style game to kill time while the boss isn't looking. Of course, I want to use my arrow keys, so it's going to go ahead and just add that right into my app. I mean, I told you it can do anything, right? Here it is. Let's try it out. All right, here we go. All right, it needs work. The ghosts aren't really coming after me, but you get the point. All right, that is the AI co-builder from Softr. I am genuinely so excited about this feature. I can't wait to build some amazing apps for my business. Hopefully you do the same. You can check out my link in the description. It'll take you over to this page where you can go ahead and just try it out right here. You get 200 free credits to get going. No obligation, no credit card required. All right, that's gonna do it for today. Thanks again to Softr for sponsoring today's video. My name is Dave Swift. If you like this video, hit that like button and get subscribed if you want more videos like this one. I'll be back again soon with another one.